Check 1 2 1 2. Back again. Soldier up in the house. So today I wanted you and the narcissist detach from each other, because it's really like not really a relationship, it's transactional, right? So it's like you're attaching and detaching because they have attachment disorder. So a lot of times they don't love, so they have an easy way to detach from you. And a lot of times there's self-sabotage built into that. So you got to be perfect, right? That's why in the love bomb, you're idolized as being perfect, right? But then after you shortly, they start to realize that you've said something that they disagree with. So all of a sudden with their black and white thinking that you are now in a devalue phase and you're not perfect anymore. So now you got to go. So you're already on the way out. And so that's where they have sabotage for them to truly love anybody built into the relationship. And they just do it over and over, cycle after cycle. They never go anywhere. When they talk about the narcissist, they never go anywhere. Well, they don't go anywhere because this type of stuff, they don't change. It's like they're just completely fixed. They're broken in a certain mode. It's hard to change as an individual, but you can change. You can make changes and you can adjust and maintain. But with the narcissist, they can't do that. And so, there's a lot of things going on there to understand and know that this is spiritual orchestration going on here. They can detach, but they can't leave you forever. They have attachment disorder because they have abandonment issues. So they don't love, so they just link up and cord in and cord up, attach to you and get their hooks in you. They will siphon your fuel that way. People talk about your aura, and you're not just dealing with them, you're dealing with something that is spiritual in there besides themselves that's benevolent, right? And it can see your aura. So they know that you're a light worker. So they see your light is brighter than the average. They know that you have a closer connection to God than, say, the people around you, maybe, that on an average. I'm not saying that it's always the case, but generally speaking, we are a small percentage in this world system. And so this is what the enemy, looking through the eyes of them, sees. And they look at your light, your aura, and your energy field and your emotional field, and they track that. And that's also how they can tell, when somebody is got damaged or, chinks in their armor. It shows up in dialogue and conversation for them, right? They can sniff this out when they talk with you for a period of time. Or has taken control over them, has caused them to become like artificial intelligence. And that's why they can be predictable, like on a track. When you were a kid or during Christmas time, there was a train that went around a Christmas tree. So it was predictable because why? Because it went in a circle. It went in a circle and it didn't have any stops. It wasn't going to stop anywhere in particular because it was not that important. It was only there to make the tree look better, just for outside veneer. It enticed you a little bit because it was something moving around under the tree, and it was neat because it was on a track and you could control it with a controller. It had lights on, and that's it. But see, it wasn't that important to where it's going to stop anywhere. It's not going to get groceries or have any kind of independence to it. It's just rolling around in a circle. And that's what the narcissists become. They're just going to run around in a circle to nowhere. Always the same thing. And with that, they also devise these situations to where they can sniff out your childhood wounds and things, because they have these, artificial intelligence is kind of like a NPC, a non-player character, or what they'd call them in a video game where, if you had the Jurassic Park game, or if you saw that movie, the guy kept saying, get in the Jeep, I'll take you to the other side of the island. Get in the Jeep, I'll take you to the other side of the island. And then if you didn't, when you were playing the game, didn't get in the damn Jeep, then he's going to keep saying that, okay, until you get in the Jeep. And that's all he's going to say. But people like us would be like, we're humanity, so we operate independently. So we have thoughts and emotions and motions and all of that. They don't really have any. On the positive side, they're obsolete when it comes to emotions. I mean, they don't love, so you can knock all that out. And with love comes like all the fruits of the spirit, spoken of in the Bible. They don't do long suffering. If they needed to get something taken care of and they had to put in extra work and grind it out, they can't do that. Generally speaking, especially if it was for straight up goodness to help somebody, like your love partner that's injured. Or the point here is, if they can steal it, they will. They don't have love, they don't have peace, they don't have joy, they don't have long suffering, they don't have these fruits of the spirit, and they don't have also common sense, and they don't have creativity. And so this is where these are the things of God, and these are things of love and goodness, and God is love. As far as stalking goes, they stalk you to regulate themselves. So like I said, they love to beat down the partner that is a primary supply that they are leaving, that they are coming back to, and they don't want anybody to mess with because they need them. But you may be out of fuel. Maybe you're waking up. Maybe there's somebody enticing them down the street. So they're going to leave you for whatever reason. But when they leave their grade A source supply, they usually beat them down the hardest because they need them the most. If they don't need you that bad, they're not going to beat you down because they don't care. They don't need you. You're not exclusive to them. A lot of times, the grade A supply thinks that they're a piece of shit, in the narcissist's eyes, but they're really not. They're a gem. Just the narcissist doesn't want to, they play you. They don't want you to know that. It's not that they take care of their gems, but they control their gems a certain way. So if you're the gem, then they have to beat you down. So while they're out playing around and cheating and doing all these things with all the people all over the town, they want to make sure that you're isolated, for one, that no other narcissist knows about you, because if they know you're grade A, they're going to come after you. They want you in the dumps, or in what we call the sunken place, so that you don't have any confidence to go out there and to recover enough to wake up and leave the narcissist if they try to come back, to revoke them, or to go out there and have enough confidence to look good, so that maybe somebody comes to you, or you find somebody yourself. And then as soon as you start to pick yourself off the ground, that's when they're going to run back, because they know that if they don't come back, somebody else is going to come and get you. And so this is what they do. But during the time that you guys are on an off phase, they will stalk you regularly, whether through social media. If they can get to it, they'll make fake accounts. If you have them blocked on the phone, they'll use fake numbers. Sometimes just to hear your voice, they may be a random number. You pick up the phone and you say hello, and it hangs up. That's the narcissist. Or if it's somebody asking questions or something that doesnn't make sense when you get a phone call, it's probably the narcissist flying monkey. Anything to have the narcissist hear your voice, it soothes them in these times when they can't get you back, or if they're stalking you. They go through these kind of situations and modes. They're crooked, They're not right in the head. And so they always think they can get you back until they can't. And when they can't, they just can't fathom it. It's almost like it's like you're a glitch in the system, a glitch in the matrix. And rightfully so, they usually can gauge what is going to happen, because typically outside of the unawoke super empath that wakes up during this time, or the grade A source supply that refuses them back after they come to an understanding of who they really are during an off time, it never happens. Usually the people are all under a spell, and they will always take the narcissist back. But when you refuse them, it's almost like a motor was to burn up or something. It's like a robot glitching out. They don't understand it. I'm not saying they can't survive without you, but I will say that, you know, if you are the grade A supply, that's the one that gave them everything, gave them your all. Even when, I mean, you really gave them everything. These are the individuals that the narcissist will get very pompous and froward, meaning they get to a point that where, you know, first they kind of respect you and they look up to you when they first meet you in the first phase of the love bomb. Shortly thereafter, they go through a period of devalue. You stay in the devalue funk mode forever if you're with them for a long period of time. They will devalue you so much and so long that they will disrespect you, because now if you started up here, they will bring you way down here in just all your confidence and everything while you're trying to help them. But as you come down to here, they're going up, they're raising up off of your energy. Plus, then they gather secondary and tertiary supplies around them. And these are things that build up their ego to such a level because they have your in-house fuel and it's so good, and then they go get more fuel with your fuel, you see. And they get so pompous that they end up walking all over you and you let it happen. Now, you wouldn't do this with a normal individual. It's only because of the spell, and these are the enemy's street soldiers. These are basically human destructive Terminators that are sent out to destroy God's people. And a lot of times it's unbeknownst to you. And they do it on a covert level, and they have to do it to where they look like the saint because they can't be outed, and this is all got to stay undercover. This is a conspiracy, a worldwide conspiracy. It says in the Bible they're a hive mind, so they will stalk you to regulate themselves. Basically, if you stay down and out, then they will keep going with their life, and they will feel confident that you're not going to do anything, that you're broke down and they did that to you. But in the spirit realm, really, it's kind of like you're looked at as you can't do any of God's work, you know, because you're broke down. So there's two things going on there. But if you start to, you know, glow up, then they got to come back so they could use you of your fuel, and they could break you down harder. A lot of times the enemy will have these individuals dating 4 or 5 people at a time, and they will destroy 4 or 5 individuals a year. And that's because, you know, the enemy gaslights them. They're looking for the next best thing all the time. And, you know, they got to be gaslit into one idea, but that's the gaslit idea from the enemy. The true idea is that the enemy wants them to destroy a bunch of God's people, or even people putting out goodness in the earth. They don't even have to be saved. I talked about this yesterday or the day before, that, you know, they're building like this. Sometimes I believe they're building a terraform. They're terraforming our world system to make it more suitable for fallen ones to live, to conquer, to destroy, and to survive in our environment. So every day they're breaking down our systems of goodness and godliness in this world system. And as they break it down more, and, you know, when you're younger, if you look at what narcissists do, when you're a young individual, say teenager into your young 20s, a lot of us would look up to, if we take aspects of how the narcissist acts, we would look at them as cool. And so this is kind of where peer pressure comes from. It comes from the spirit of the narcissist. And the spirit of this world system is kind of like a beast system. And that's why in the Bible it would talk about the mark of the, you got it. Or that, you know, in fight or flight, you are in like a beast mode. You are in animalistic nature. You are in fear and survival mode. So you're in your animalistic nature. You're in lack. You're in destruction. You're in stealing and theft and lying and cheating, because that's what fight or flight and in the fear mode will lead you to. Because if you don't love, you live out of fear. See, love is a builder. Love is joyous. Love is peace. Love is kind. Love is long-suffering. Love is loyal. And so there's either fear or there's love. That's why the centers of the brain sometimes are shut off on these PET scans, because they're fried. It's usually right brain anatomically. And so anyway, it's like they become human Terminators to God's chosen. So they have to run around with 5 different people a year to destroy them, because the enemy doesn't want them to just settle down with one of God's chosen or something and just destroy them. He wants them destroying anything good out there in the world. And when I say, like, sometimes these people aren't even saved and stuff, but they have a better vibration than most. So, you know, they will be sent out to bring that vibration of the world down. And the more they bring the vibration of the world down, generally speaking, all these narcissists destroying 5 individuals a year as a human Terminator, then over time, there's going to be more low vibrational individuals, right? And so it makes it a better environment for the enemy to become stronger, because there's less friction. And so when they stalk you, they're stalking you because they regulate their own self, their own emotions, and it regulates how they are. They use you to regulate themselves. If you're doing well, then they got to come back and destroy you harder. And they got to take that fuel because it's so good. But if you're down, then they're just going to stalk you, and they're going to feel good that they're going to be joyous about your pain, and that they're living better than you, or they did that to you, they destroyed you. And so usually that's generally the case, but those are just some thoughts about how the enemy works through the narcissist and why they have to have so many love partners, because the enemy wants greater numbers. He wants them all on rotation, and he wants that rotation to never change. He wants them to continually go out there and get new supply and destroy them and destroy them and destroy them. You know, if they can get, 100 people destroyed in 5 years, then they left their mark on humanity. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just, a 1-to-1. And so if you can give me a like, subscription, thumbs up, love y'all. Peace. We out.